How's it going, campers? Matt Sardo, Monkeys Fighting Robots. And on this gloomy day in Connecticut, looking across at New York City, I see that Rob Liefeld wrote some really dumb things on Twitter, and another old white dude with their take on the comic industry and why it's dying, because we don't really have a conservative comics being produced and all these things for the old white dudes, the dad comics. Oh man. Okay, let's go over what Rob said. In terms of broadcast networks, ABC, CBS, and NBC are the equivalent to Marvel and DC in publishing. Dad TV has kept the lights on at the legacy networks for decades. CSI, NCIS, FBI, SWAT, and SEAL Team are current examples of the dearth of dad TV shows that populated CBS, the ratings leader. In recent years, Taylor Sheridan has produced a crop of top-rated shows: Yellowstone, Bass Reeves, Lioness, 1883. They reflect the dad TV standards. CBS put Yellowstone on their schedule and it posted the biggest numbers of the year. Dad TV is reliable and going nowhere. Dad comics serve the same function. They keep the lights on at a comic book store across the country. X-Men, Spider-Man, Batman are the gold standards of dad comics. There's certainly room for whatever new trends emerge, but dad comics pay the bills. They are time-tested, customer approved. Okay, well, there's just a whole bunch of bullshit in this right here. So there is a demographic that does love CSI, NCIS, FBI, SWAT, SEAL Team. Okay, there's a whole demographic that loves that. And we know what demographic that is. But there's a whole bunch of other demographics that watch TV a lot. And there are specific events on TV that dominate the ratings. And that is what actually pays the bills. And we're not even talking about shows like The Walking Dead, which was the highest rated show for the longest time. And Game of Thrones, which dominated forever. But then, we'll just talk about sports, because we're talking about today and today's technology and streaming and all the things you can do where you can skip commercials and just binge watch with no commercials and do all these other things. But the one thing that you can't do in a sporting event, a live sporting event, is skip the commercials. So what pays the bills in TV for the legacy networks, the dad TV things that he's talking about, is sporting events. You have baseball, you have football, you have NBA and the NHL. We're not going to talk about the NHL. But baseball and the NFL the NFL rules everything. And the NFL prints money, and networks pay hand over foot billions and billions of dollars to show the NFL on their televisions so that people watch, and then they charge insane amount for the ad revenue on those shows. So it's not dad TV that keeps the lights on, people. It's live sports. Because with all the streaming now, the world has changed. The world has completely changed. And how you make money in the digital streaming world is with live sports. That's the whole reason why Amazon paid a lot of money for Thursday Night Football, and Apple TV wanted to give an insane amount of money for the NFL Sunday ticket, but they didn't get that. Also, he points out Taylor Sheridan. And if you actually this right here reminds me of people that said that 60s X-Men wasn't political. And the reason why you think that 60s X-Men wasn't political is because you don't understand what you're reading. And that's fine. But if you watch Yellowstone, and if you watch Lioness, and if you watch Bass Reeves in 1883, if you watch those shows, you would understand how political they were and what they actually show and the social commentary that they are actually showing. I don't know if, if you start giggling at Native Americans getting killed left and right, maybe that's a you problem and you're not compassionate about what actually happened back in the day. But if you think that Yellowstone is this like machismo show and you don't hit the tones of what's going on with the Native Americans and the respect for horses and the respect for nature and the preservation of nature that they're trying to get across in this, and they're fighting corporations and doing whatever it takes to keep the land so that it doesn't get torn up. I know that, like, you might think that Kevin Costner is like this conservative guy, like, I'm the, I got the cows and, we're doing all these cowboy things and we're doing all that stuff. But like, he really cares about nature. He doesn't care about other people. He doesn't care about people, but he really cares about nature when it comes to Yellowstone. He cares about his horses, and he does care about a few select people. That's the thing is I love that Yellowstone goes over people's heads. And they're like, oh, this is conservative television at its finest. Taking back America. No, you're not. Like, this guy is talking about saving the environment. That's what he's trying to do. I mean, and there's the whole, it just boggles my mind. Like, and if you had conversations with Taylor Sheridan, like, he would tell you this too, that like, you're a bunch of idiots that didn't understand what I was trying to put across. But, they give him money. Bass Reeves, man. I doubt Rob Liefeld even watched Bass Reeves. Because if he has, he'd be like, oh shit, that's not dad TV. That's a man trying to survive in an insane world. And there are also some very powerful women in this show. And Lioness is about powerful women. Oh my God, it just boggles. Rob, man, get a grip on life. Stop being an old man bashing the comic book industry that made you wealthy. I don't understand why Mark Millar, and I'm just going to call him Mark Millar now. He's no longer Mark Millar. Just Mark Millar and Rob Liefeld are bashing the industry that made them rich. It's insane. I see Rob's on Whatnot. If he wants to save the industry, feel free to do some free signings at comic book stores, or like send out some signed books to comic book stores and they can do like a raffle or a giveaway. Same thing with Mark. If you guys want to save the industry, if you want to save the little man, like actually come up with a plan and save the little man instead of just being bashing comic books and putting your like conservative tone on it of like, oh man, we got to like, this diversity and enforced agendas are killing comic books. And I'm like, hey dude, art is a reflection of society. And if you looked in the mirror and you saw what society was doing right now, you might understand where we're coming from. But two rich old dudes living in their little castles, all protected from society, and they're like, oh man, these are the values that I need to preach down upon the world and tell people how to live their lives. I'm not telling anybody how to live their lives. I'm just telling you that some of your shit is bullshit. So that's what I'm going to do. If I see stuff like this, I'm just going to call bullshit on it because that's what it is. And Mark Millar, he said cancel pigs, and guess what? All the Comicsgate folks that's their word now. Like, he's their champion, whether he likes it or not. So you got to understand what you're saying, what platform you're saying it on, and who you're saying it to. Like, some people got upset in the comments of my previous video because I said old white dudes and I made it like a racial thing. And I'm like, it is. It totally is. I'm sorry. Like, you don't see a whole bunch, it's conservative white dudes are racist. That's it. There it is. I'm going to say it. It's how it works. If you're voting conservative in the United States and you've listened to the rhetoric of the Republicans and you're like, that's fine. That's what we're voting for. Blah, blah. I'm not racist. I'm just voting for a racist. Look, that's not going to pass anymore, guys. That is not going to pass. So if you see bullshit, on the internet, let me know in the comments, and we will call it out. Have a great new comic book day this week. Enjoy your comic books. Comment below what comic books you like and what you enjoy. And this is a great medium. Comics are evolving. They're changing. Things are, the future's upon us. But comic books are still freaking amazing, and we all enjoy them. So let's start talking about that.